Liberal leaders are speaking out now about a surge in violent crime. President Biden met today with big city mayors and talked about what to do about the problem. He also pledged a whole lot more money for police departments. Meanwhile, California's governor, that's Gavin Newsom, rolled up his sleeves and started picking up trash right off of the train tracks. This after an explosion in train robberies has left L.A. littered with discarded packages.
We look like a third world country, these images, the drone images that were on the nightly news. How do we make sure we don't have to keep coming back? How do we secure this site? How do we do a better job in making sure that this doesn't have to continue to happen? This is the supply chain. I know all of us are focused down on the water, it's so damn beautiful, and everybody's just focused on containers at the ports. The supply chain.
While promising a crackdown on crime, the Democratic governor also was very careful with his words. Take a listen.
This is organized theft. These are organized gangs of people that are coming out, and forgive me for saying gangs. I know that's not a pejorative. They're organized groups of folks that move from site to site.
Well, Greg, you heard the governor there. He said all these robberies are making his state look bad. He also says it is a supply chain problem. A supply chain problem. Is that why all the grocery store shelves are empty again?
First, I just want to say it's good to see you back after becoming a birthing person, Jillian.
Thank you.
I trust you have not picked a gender yet, and you're waiting for the right time.
So we're going to leave it up to you.
That's what I've decided. And I will let you know in a gender reveal. You know, what was he just talking about? That he was apologizing for saying gang.
Yeah.
Like he was afraid that he was insulting the criminals. Oh, you know, these gangs. Wait, roving criminals. I mean, that was bizarre. So why did it take so long for Democrats to prioritize crime when Americans were suffering for almost 2 years? Why do they choose to chase the voting bill or their climate agenda? It's simple, because you can't chase a problem that everyone knows you caused, right? It's like saying crime is out of control. As a progressive Democrat, everybody looks at you and go, well, isn't that on you? So they have to avoid it. Also, who they consider adversaries, which would be people like us on Fox or Republicans, this is a really key issue for them. And so the Democrats can't be seen like agreeing with us, because that would be betrayal. So they would rather pick a really stupid stance, you know, like bailing out looters, right? Or no cash bail, than actually common sense, because the common sense is aligned with other people. So they kind of despise us more than they despise the thugs. So that's why the thugs are out there. Newsom should repeal a bunch of those laws that allow people to shoplift like $900 worth of crap. That would be a start. Instead of this symbolic virtue signaling that he does outside, this is not a practical solution, what he's doing. This is just for us to do segments, and it worked.
Harold, I'm going to come to you next to respond, because these are your people. So in the span of 2 days, we had Nancy Pelosi saying, you know, crime's my #1 issue. Then the president says, I want to give police departments more money. What gives?
So I think we should be careful not to frame this in a partisan way. The cities of Miami, Jacksonville, Tulsa, Fort Worth all have Republican mayors, and some of those have Republican governors, but I wouldn't dare call this something that they want or enabling. I do think Greg is right to an extent when he says that Democrats have not come out strong enough. Some of our rank and file around defunding, and some of our rank and file around some of this cash bail reform. I would hope that every DA and every police chief, and there are a lot of Democratic police chiefs and a lot of Democratic mayors, including Eric Adams, who I would argue is probably to the right of President Biden on some of these issues, and perhaps some of the mainstream talk in my party around what to do and how to prosecute crime. But one thing is clear: no Black American, no Democrat that I socialize with, and I am one, wants high crime rates, wants high homicide rates, or wants to have to clean debris off of railroads. I would hope that mayors around the country, and many of them are in Washington today, the president spoke with them. I would imagine that many of them probably asked this president, help us with bail reform, help us with a mental health initiative, help us to ensure that those of us who have public transit systems, that we're able to prosecute, arrest, and make safe havens there on subway platforms all across the country. I didn't mean to jumpstart this conversation in the last segment, but I'm glad that the district attorney in New York met with business leaders today, and I'm glad they expressed expressed very clearly to him that without a public transit system, without a safe one, and we've all commented on this, New York won't be New York. Our economy can't thrive. So I hope Democrats and Republicans, those who have been wrong, get right. And those who've been right all along, continue to amplify your voice.
Jesse, the Transportation Security Administration, the TSA, confirmed to Fox News now that they are allowing undocumented immigrants, people who are in the United States illegally, to use their Homeland Security-issued arrest warrants as ID at airport security checkpoints. Those arrest warrants are used to cross-check with CBP databases. As far as I can tell, this is great news for you because now you don't have to bring your passport anymore. You can just bring your arrest warrant. You must have multiple, Jesse.
Multiple. Very, very devious behavior on my part, and I will submit to a full body search. But I want to not gloat for a second. A lot of people are going to be shocked when I tell you this. I'm not going to trash the Democrats here. Don't change the channel. Just hear me out. The Democrats have come around on crime. Let's take the win. The Democrats have come around on lockdowns, on school closings. They finally have woken up to the train wreck of the Biden presidency. I'm not going to spike the football. I'm just going to accept it. All right? So I don't think their intentions are pure. Obviously, it's very suspicious that Pelosi, Newsom, and Biden on the same day are laser focused on crime. That tells me this. That tells me a polling memo went out that the Democrats saw and looked at and said, holy cow, we're all going to lose our seats. Now, a crime is not when someone steals your car or takes your wallet. A crime is when someone steals a Democrat's seat in Congress. That's what they care about. Same thing happened after the 2020 summer riots, remember? They didn't give a damn all summer until the polling memo went out in August and Don Lemon said, guys, you guys are going to get crushed. You know, bad polls are like smelling salts. Wakes the Democrat Party up. But, you know, that is the real issue. Now, also, did you notice how Gavin Newsom didn't really care about the criminals or the crime itself? He cares about the image of the crime. He cares about how it looks on television. Did you see the drone footage? It was on the network news. I mean, it's really like a PR thing for him. It's so superficial, and I fear that good-looking guys with great hair are just so superficial. It's giving us a bad name.
It's so
Goes
true.
hand in hand with what Greg just said, you know, the optics, you know, what he's concerned about, what he calls these criminals.
Right.
Dagan, I obviously saved the loveliest for last.
Thank you. Greg's offended. Gavin Newsom has his eye on higher office, number one, and these pictures were embarrassing to him. Also, Union Pacific, the railroad, wrote George Gascon, the district attorney in Los Angeles County, a 2-page letter essentially telling him, if you don't start prosecuting these crimes, they wrote in the letter, even with all the arrests made, the no cash bail policy and extended time frame for suspects to appear in court is causing re-victimization to Union Pacific employees by the same criminals, to the railroad and to the employees. And they said, we're taking our business out of L.A. County, potentially. Wow. So what happens is Gavin Newsom knows this is the beginning of a downward spiral, a financial death spiral for any city and any state if the businesses leave. Your tax base leaves, even more wealthy taxpayers will leave, and then lower income Californians are left behind, and you can't recover from that. But to Greg's point, I think the only thing that triggered Gavin Newsom going down there was his Gucci slippers got lost in transit, or some Hermes foulards that he ordered got stolen.
It was supposed to be here by now.
But it's only when they only start caring, to quote Greg Gutfeld, about crime or about any issue or even acknowledge it when it happens to them.
Great point.
It's Greg's point. I stole it.
That's okay.
Someone steal my point. Jesus.
No one wants your points, Jesse. We got to leave it there.
We get
Coming
it.
up next.